Hey, Mackie Kyle here, video number 2 in this 4-part series of the great nuggets that I'm picking up from this wonderful book, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker. Again, I commend it to you greatly. In the first video, we talked about the idea that each of us has been born with a money blueprint that's developed over life. I shouldn't say born with, but is actually developed throughout our lives through programming and things that we pick up in our environment. And T. Harv Eker says that there are 3 things that contribute to our financial blueprint and our programming. The first of which is verbal programming. And he says verbal programming is the things that we've heard since we were children. He said, what did you hear about money and wealth and rich people when you were growing up? Did you ever hear phrases like money is the root of all evil? Save your money for a rainy day. Rich people are greedy. Rich people are criminals. The filthy rich. You have to work hard to make money. Money doesn't grow on trees. I heard that a lot when I was a kid. You have to be rich and you can't be rich and spiritual. You can't be rich and spiritual. Money doesn't buy happiness. Money talks. The rich get richer and the poor get poorer. I heard that a lot as a child. That's not for people like us. Not everyone can be rich. There's never enough, and the infamous, we can't afford it. And I, unfortunately, am guilty of saying we can't afford it myself. He goes and shares a specific story of a young man that came to one of his weekend seminars, and the guy was making $800,000 a year and had been doing so for 10 years, and he was still virtually penniless. And they brought him up and worked with him and found out that his mother had told him when he was a child that rich people were greedy and that rich people were bad people. And so that concept had still haunted this guy to this day. And his internal programming overrode everything logical in his life. So he was driven to get rid of his money and just squander his money, because he didn't want to go against what his mother thought. I love what T. Harv Eker says, when the subconscious mind must choose between deeply rooted emotions and logic, emotions always win. So there are things that we know that we should be doing. Even, in our physical, we know that we should be eating better. We know that we should be exercising. We know that we should be at a healthier weight, but we choose not to. And it's the same thing with our finances. We know there are specific things that we should be doing with our finances, but there are these deeply rooted subconscious emotional things inside of us that are affecting our blueprint. And the first of which has been affected by things that we have heard, verbal things. And T. Harv Eker actually shares a personal anecdote. He as he got started in his career in investing, he just failed miserably at investing in stocks. And he said that it finally dawned on him that he picked that up from his dad, that his dad would come home every day from work and pound his fist on the table after looking at the stock section of the newspaper and fuss about the stocks. And once he realized that, T. Harv Eker changed that and immediately began a more successful investing career for himself through that. So again, your subconscious conditioning determines your thinking. Your thinking determines your decisions, and your decisions determine your actions, which eventually determine your outcome. So now he gives us some elements for dealing with the things that we have picked up verbally that have contributed to our money blueprint. He gives 4 things. He says that we first of all need to be aware of what's going on. We need to understand things better. Write down what you believe these statements and how they've affected your financial life so far. And then he says that we need to disassociate those things. Can you see that these thoughts represent only what you learned and are not a part of your anatomy and not who you really are? And then he always has a declaration. I'll save those. I'll tease you and challenge you to get the book to see those declarations. But you need to be aware, you need to understand, and you need to disassociate. So this is the first one of those 3 factors in our money blueprint, and that is verbal programming. So again, this has been Mackie Kyle sharing some wonderful tips from the Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker. Again, I commend this book to you. It's been great speaking with you today. If you've enjoyed this content, I encourage you to comment below, share, and like. And above all else, I wish you great success.